Those first 5 weeks have been very, very foundational. We did go into detail, but I didn't really. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible to simplify a lot of things for you, so it's not, so it doesn't seem overwhelming. And each of those weeks and each of those steps that we talked about, a lot more goes into it, and you'll see as time progresses and you dive more into those specific segments that a lot more goes into your logo and how you can use it and how you can print it in and what colors you may want to put it in. And it's something that you just learn over time. I can tell you a lot of information, but until you actually experience it, have some experience with it yourself, there's some things that you just may not understand out the gate until you go through that trial and that tribulation and everything will start making sense to you. So what I want to do is just give you everything foundational as far as developing your brand, developing your image, developing your logo, resources as far as where to get your product from, tools and resources to how to even go about printing it, whether you need screen printing, embroidery, whatever the case may be. It's all been behind the scenes. Like no one has seen your product yet. It's just all you working your product. And I think if I would have had the chance to do it again, I think I would have stayed in the cave a little longer and kept maturing and cultivating my brand and curating my products to where they could have came out, I guess, a lot doper. And it's good to do that before you put your brand out before you put it out in the faces of the masses, because that first impression is going to mean everything. That first impression is going to be whether a customer or a consumer rocks with your brand now or rocks with your brand for life or not rock with it at all. You may put out some kind of rush in it where it just doesn't have the same effect of something if you took your time to develop the product would. And that brings us to this week where we're kind of past the production process. So I'm coming from the mind frame of we have physical product done. We know what our name is. We got our logo. We resourced some garments, some t-shirts, some hoodies. We talked to a couple manufacturers. We may have even gotten stuff back from a manufacturer. We have our tags. We have our hanging tags. We have everything set up. We have our pictures. We have our models. So I'm speaking from a point of everything being done, set to go as far as product and apparel. So everything is made. The next step, I even thought about this. I even told my sis this. I didn't know if I wanted to go social media first or go website first. It just made more sense to talk about website and building your website, because before you even post anything on your social media account, once they see it on your social media account, you have to direct them somewhere. If you're saying, hey, look at this new product, it's available in these sizes, this is the cost, you're gonna have to send them directly to the platform where they can purchase it at. And a lot goes into that. And I'm be honest with you, I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm a professional. I've done my websites by myself, but I'm be honest with you, you can kind of tell. I didn't need anything elaborate. I just wanted somewhere where once I promote on my social media pages and once I'm in everybody's inbox and DM saying, hey, go look at this product, I just needed a page or a link that they can go to, see the product, see the price, see the size, and make a purchase. There was a lot of things I just did not know going into it. Something as simple as the least amount of clicks your customer has on your website, the more likely they are to buy. So if I got to go to your website, I click on your website, I see home, I see products, I click on products. You have a handful of products. I click on one of the products I like. I should be able to go to color selection, size, checkout. The least amount of clicks you have on that website, it normally leads to more purchase. If they got to go in there and search for this and get through this and watch a video and click through here and then look at the product and look at all the other stuff, 9 times out of 10, they may abandon and just hop off your website. I've seen it happen so many times. But there are tools that you can actually track them back like, hey, I seen you on my website. Can I help you with something? We'll get into that in a second. So again, I built my websites. I built a couple of them. Again, they're super basic. They're super beginner. I'm not a professional at it, but I was able to. Sometimes I like doing it by myself. So when I go to pay somebody to do it, I kind of have a clear understanding of what I want. and the expectations I may have, or I will be able to articulate the expectations I have based off some of the knowledge I have as far as building a website and what I want my customer to see when they click that link. So having some knowledge on your own, playing with it a little bit, is very, very important. I look for ease of user ability, meaning you don't need code to build your website. You don't need a lot of technical stuff to build a website. If you want something basic, if you want something that's high end, that's going to be very, very attractive, that's entertaining, that pulls your customer in, I'm always suggest going with a professional. It just makes more sense. It's going to cost a couple more dollars. It's a little more expensive, but the end result will be more likely in your favor because, you know, if you go on a website and you like going on a website, you're entertained by it. It's easy to shop on there. You like the product. You like the customer service, which we'll also get into. It just tend to get more sales. If you just need a landing page with a couple of products, that's cool. Unless you're really pumping it to the masses where you're constantly putting it in people's face, you're probably not going to get a lot of traffic. It's just like that. Even if you get traffic, it's tough to get sales. I'll look at my website one day and just I try to pay attention a little bit to the numbers, and it shows me how many views I got that day on what particular product. And you can kind of piggyback on that. Like, okay, I had so many people look at this tracksuit in this particular color. Maybe I need to promote this a little bit more. Or even if something that's not getting any looks, I may want to pump that a little bit more just to allow it to gain a little more traction and see if I can get some sales from it. I actually Googled the top 10 e-commerce website hosts, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Shopify, which normally has a little more popularity because they promote their brand a little bit more than a lot of other people. And Shopify was actually number one on this particular list that I saw. So Shopify was one. I created my own Shopify account. It was definitely a little harder than the one I have now. It's a lot more detail goes into it. You have to take your time. You really have to take your time and make sure it's set up correctly. Again, if it's not something you feel comfortable doing, holler at somebody. Go ahead and pay the couple dollars and let them set it up for you, which is the reason I have my sister on the call tonight. This is one of the few services that she has. Wix was next. I never tried Wix, but I've heard of Wix a lot, just not more than Shopify. For some reason, the next one was GoDaddy. Now, GoDaddy I mentioned in week 1 or 2, and it's mainly for your domain, but you actually can build a website straight off of GoDaddy. GoDaddy has a lot of different services, not just website, but email, domain. They have a lot of different stuff you can use on GoDaddy. You have to go in there and play around a little bit, but they have a lot of different services. Me personally, I thought it was kind of generic. And I say that because I had already discovered other website hosts like Shopify and the one I'll talk about in a second that I use personally that just was better for me. I even tried to GoDaddy when I was selling tennis shoes. I tried a little GoDaddy website just to put the kicks on there. It wasn't horrible. It's just the ease of usability. The usability of it just wasn't. It was just a little more difficult to me, a little more time consuming. Not confusing, but it was messing with my patience. I was like, man, I ain't got time to really be doing this right now, especially for some kicks. I could really make something. I can go on Facebook and create a page and get more traction than spending hours on this website when I don't even really want to send traffic here, if that makes sense. Next was Square Online, which was a new one because I'm familiar with Squarespace. Squarespace was actually 6 on the list, and I'll just give you the first 6 or 7. So Shopify, Wix, GoDaddy, Square Online, BigCommerce, which I've heard of, as well as the next one will be Squarespace. I've heard of Squarespace as well. And then you got web.com, which I think I've seen their logo one time. And those are just e-commerce website hosts that I just pulled up randomly. Shopify is probably the most popular right now. But one that they did not mention was the one I use. And to be honest with you, it ain't the dopest, know what I mean? But for me and what I'm doing with it, it works for me. It's called Big Cartel. The one reason I didn't really like it and I had to kind of do a workaround is because Big Cartel was in your domain name. So let's just say my brand, ManPro, it'd be www.manpro.bigcartel.com. And I got some not criticism. I got some insight or some feedback from one of my little cousins, and he's like, "Cuz I don't really like that." I was like, "What you mean?" He's like, "That it says that in your website." Like, and he kind of does this as well. He was like, "There's a way you can get around it. Just do your domain name like this." And what I did, I went back to GoDaddy, got the domain name specifically for this particular brand, and you can actually go on Big Cartel, and it'll ask you, do you have your own domain name? And you can actually fill out the information. It takes a matter of a couple minutes. And what it does is, if your website is, my website is manpro.com, I can go on Big Daddy, even though it's the host, I can remove Big Cartel and just have manpro.com. So it looks a little more official, but I am still using their platform, their tools, and their templates that they have on that website. I say it's kind of, not the greatest because it's not a ton of templates. Now, they've improved drastically over the past several years that I've been using it. It's just simple to me. The absolute free brand, the absolute free monthly service that you pay nothing, you only get 4 pictures. So if you don't have if you got 5 or more products, the free one might not be for you. But if you only got 2 to 4 products that you're going to be solid and stick on, even if you might switch out one, put another one in there, Big Cartel's not a horrible idea if you want to keep it simple and just really have a place where people where you could just drive traffic to. They can hop on there, see the product, click it. It allows you options of selecting your size, color, and it also gives you other options within the detail of the detail of the product that will allow you to kind of manipulate what the customer sees. So they'll be able to see if you have it in green, blue, and black. You can order you can have an option of small green, small blue, small black. It's just the way they break it down. It's actually very, very simple once you get to playing with it a little bit. It's one of the easiest ones I've used. It didn't take me long to set up. It's not super difficult. And all you got to do is pump traffic to it. So if you just need something basic and need a landing page where you can send traffic to, and you're not necessarily pressed for an elaborate website that with all the bells and whistles, that would be your go-to. I think the next one up is I think I pay $9.99, but I go from four images to 40 images that fast. So $10 I can put, I think it's 40. I want to say it's 40. I have to check, but I don't think it's 20. It might be 20, but anywhere from 20 to 40. A lot of times we don't have that many products. If you got that many products, you may want to go to another website because it'll give you a better look. But I want to say it's 40. I think I get 40 products for $9.99 a month. Comes out my business account. I rarely see it, and it's not bad at all if I just need a place for people to go to. One thing I would definitely mention is you definitely want a PayPal account for numerous different reasons, and I want to say PayPal even lets you build a website, if I'm not mistaken, on their actual brand page. But I use PayPal for all transactions. I do hate that they take out the fees when people purchase. So if you got something on your website for $100, you do tax and shipping, let's say $115 total. You're expecting to get $115. Nah, PayPal definitely gonna take a little piece of that, which isn't horrible. It's not like they take a huge chunk, but they do put a small percentage off your purchase price and off the money off the revenue that you generate in there. It's not drastic. I mean, you're gonna be salty when you see it, but it is what it is. I definitely have a PayPal debit card. Definitely comes in handy. If you can make as many purchases out of your PayPal account that you possibly can. That cash back is crazy. It's been months where I just get a deposit like, you got $12 back. And I know $12 ain't a lot, but if you've been swiping that card for all type of stuff, and at the end of the month they kick you $12 back, bruh, I'm not gonna be mad at the $12, man, honestly. And like I said, definitely want a PayPal debit card because it comes in handy. You can play on that website as well and just kind of navigate through certain things and see how certain things work and how your money is handled. But you also can link that PayPal account to any of these websites. So if you have a Shopify website, someone purchases something off your Shopify website, that will be directed, that money or those funds will be directed to your bank. I think I have had an issue. I think it was with Shopify. I want to say it was with Shopify. I had just started a brand, my CO brand. I put some information there as far as how to get paid, and I had pre-orders. So these pre-orders get to running up, and I'm talking about they're not cheap. I think these hoodies might have came out at like $75, $80, maybe even 90 if I'm not mistaken. And after, several orders, I'm looking at $600 or $700. And they like, yeah, we'll send you this bread in a few days. I'm like, a few days, man, I need that now. I'm ready to put in this orders to get these pre-orders out. And I don't know if it was just because it was a new account that they held the money for a few days, but it was part of the game. So I just say, make sure you watch out when whatever host you, e-commerce website host you choose, that you definitely look at the fine print, because there may be some things in there that you may not be cool with. Make sure you can link your bank account to it, see what the turnaround time is for releasing those funds, see what the customer service is like. Just check out all these platforms and just play with them and see what you feel may be the best for you, because this is vital. At the end of the day, this is your money. This is where your funds and your revenue come through. Hold on, I'm sorry. This is where your funds come through. This is how you're going to be paid. Everything goes to the website. It doesn't go through your social media. Yeah, they can shop through your social media sites, but a lot of times they can't pay you there. Even when they shop on there, it's still kind of connected to your host. And I actually believe, if I'm mistaken, Instagram, you can shop on Instagram, but you still want to have your domain name. You still want to have that stuff, your bank account, your business bank account linked to everything, because anytime you get a purchase, you want it to go directly to your business bank account or your personal bank account if you don't have a business bank account as of right now. In order to get a business bank account, you definitely have to have your EIN, and you have to be registered with the state. I think I went over that week 1. You have to be registered with the state. That way you can go into any bank, give them your EIN number, show them that you're registered with state, and you can actually open up a business bank account, much different than your personal. There's a lot more flexibility. You can actually get, like I said, you can get loans off that bank account. So you got to make sure you got that information. Again, speaking from a point that we've already handled that, we already got our garments in hand. That link to those websites is how you're going to get paid. There is nothing like that notification going off when you got a new sale, when somebody put in a new order and you see that money coming in. It is one of the best feelings in the world, because now you're seeing results from all your hard work. You done put in all this work from building your brand up, finding the best garment, finding the best printer, tagging it up, bagging it up, promoting it. You get a sale. It's a very gratifying feeling. Me and my big homie, we call it fashion money. Anytime we get money off our brand, that's fashion money, baby. And if you ever got money from anything else, and then you get revenue and income from something you love to do that you actually have fun doing, it is such a gratifying feeling. Trust me. And I think that's all I wanted to go over. There's a lot of details that go on in regards to your website. Like I said, the ease of use for you and your customer. If you're building it on your own, if you're looking for outside sources to build it for you, at least have several ideas of what you would like to see on that website. And that way you can communicate that and articulate that with the person that is building your website. And that's another relationship that you just have to learn to build, because you don't know this person. You're investing your money and you're investing in your brand, and you just want to make sure it's right. So, vet that person, meaning have a couple conversations with them and get a clear idea of their skill set, and make sure to have a clear idea of your expectations of what you want to see and how you want to see it. You can have someone build it for you. You can have someone build it and maintain it for you. There's a lot that goes into it. And one thing I've learned, you have to run your business. I would look up and I'm like, man, I ain't looked at my website in 30 days. I ain't looked at my website in 45 days. Like that's kind of whack that I haven't looked at my website. How I get my money through my brand. I haven't even looked at my website in 45 days. That's a long time. Just because you ain't getting no traffic don't mean you can't look at it. And me personally, I think it was maybe about 3 months ago, maybe 4. I took everything off my website. I put 2 new products up, and that's all that's there. And as the months progress, I'm looking back like, man, that was kind of stupid. I had so many other products already up there that even if I push traffic for you to see these 2 new products, you still would have seen the older products and maybe even purchased and maybe got something else along with the new product that I put up. And I think that was stupid of me. But I'm at a point where I didn't want to see that old product anymore. I've sold them tracksuits for the last 4 to 5 years. Every season I might drop a new color. I might drop a new applique to go on it. I might have went from flock to the brick, which was like the suede, to the rubber. So I switched it up every year where it's a different look. But I'm like, I've been selling them tracksuits for 5 or 6 years. Time to go in a new direction. So that was just my personal take on my own website. But you have to run your business. You have to be on top of tracking information. You have to see who's all coming to your website. And depending on what host you go with, they have a lot of different tools that show you who was on your website, who was in your website, put something in the cart, and then logged off. They can track those things. So those are things that are super duper vital when building your website and maintaining it. And give me 2 seconds. And I'm gonna let my sister hop in, but I definitely want to make sure I set it up so you guys know exactly what she's on here for. She is phenomenal at what she does. She's also an amazing human being. I don't be around or associate with no crazy people. I got a lot of lovely individuals that I rock with on a regular basis and that I do business with. And Sis has always been in my format because of what she does.